everyone, this is Omegazula's channel, and today I want to show you the abilities of this hero, how their animation looks like. Bivald of the Thorn is a spirit legendary champion from the Sacred Order's faction. In the early days of the Sacred Order, much credence was given to Lumaya's capacity for forgiveness, how even the most wicked souls could be redeemed through her love and grace. Many believed that only a tiny shaft of her light was needed to pierce the veil of ignorance blinding someone, and the troubled would abandon their wickedness for piety and charity. Such was the case with a man called Jorvik, for he only needed to experience Lumaya's kindness once for him to renounce his avarice and sin, and be reborn as Bivald of the Thorn. Once a bandit king who terrorized the routes around Karok's lands of rebirth, Jorvik was more mountain than man, unflinching, rugged, and cruel. His band of cutthroats pillaged any caravan they could find, stripping the possessions from anyone whether they were merchants, pilgrims, or nobles. Local garrisons, lordly armies, and even rival bandit groups tried to best Jorvik, but his greed was outmatched only by his ferocity in battle, and he defeated them all. Locals whispered that his treasure hoard could make a dragon jealous, and, if he willed it, he could have toppled more than one of Karok's fledgling free cities with little effort. However, a chance meeting with one pilgrim caravan, apparently no different to any he had attacked before, changed Jorvik's life forever. Yet Jorvik's crimes continued to torment him. He prayed, self-flagellated, and fasted, but to no avail he could not rid himself of his unbearable guilt. He spent many moons examining what he might do to relieve his anguish, and came to many conclusions. First, he decided he must always be in pain, and so anointed himself with a wreath of thorns that also acted as a constant demonstration of his penance. Second, he bound his eyes, for he was not worthy of looking upon Lumaya's creations. He decided also that he must become a man of peace, not of war, for he had killed enough. He took up the name of Bivald, that of a martyr of Lumaya famed for his refusal to shed blood, as it might pollute the goddess's world, even though it cost him his life. Bivald set out to become a protector of the caravans, entering and leaving the lands of rebirth. While he still carried an immense, lavishly decorated warhammer wreathed in barbs, he hoped to never use it. Should bandits attack, he hoped to offer them kindness, mercy, and a way out of the cycle of violence that was shown to him. Bivald hoped maybe, just maybe, that by bringing souls to Lumaya his guilt might be assuaged. But if raiders refused his offer, he saw them worthy only of death, as he was before he saw the light. Wielding his hammer in a whirlwind of death, he obliterated his enemies, reducing them to little more than a paste of blood, broken bone, and pulverized flesh. Bivald of the Thorn skills. Attack 1. Thorn Maul. Attacks one enemy. Has a 30% chance of placing a provoke debuff for one turn. Also heals the ally with the lowest HP by 15% of the damage inflicted. The provoke debuff can be placed even if this attack lands as a weak hit. Attack 2. Admonition of Barbs. Attacks all enemies 2 times. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff for one turn. The second hit has a 75% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Also places a 25% strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns. The leech and provoke debuffs can be placed even if this attack lands as weak hits. Attack 3. Briar Nexus. Attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 5% for each debuff on each enemy. Also heals all allies by 20% of the damage inflicted, and places a shield buff on them for 2 turns equal to 20% of the damage inflicted. And passive effect, Dethorned. Decreases the damage taken by all allies from enemies under provoke debuffs by 15%. And Aura increases team's health points in all battles by 28%. This was Omegazula's. Thank you very much for watching until the end. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.